back to another look at fighting revolvers. Now, the grips, they're essential in close fighting situations, and they're important no matter what you're shooting, if it's at the range, if it's in self-defense, whatever purpose you're using them for, they're of course important. They have to feel right for you. If they don't feel right, then you're not going to be the best at your shooting. If you're having pain or you're having to grip it extra tight just to hang on to it, depending on the ammunition you're using or the conditions, maybe it's very cold outside and you've got a really small grip on your pistol or your revolver, and your fingers aren't just working properly. So all these things come into account. But in close fighting, when you're belly to belly, it really is essential that you start thinking about your firearms and what you could do if the person's right on you and attacking you, whether it be fists or whether it be a knife or another gun, or even being held up in a certain situation like a parking lot or a public bathroom, wherever it may be. We have to take a look at this in close fighting and the possibilities. Now, in a prior film, I discussed the hand grips and the ledges and the hammers and whatnot. So let's go into taking a look. Now, this is my wife's pistol. It's a 642 Smith & Wesson. It's an airlight aluminum, very, very light. It's hammerless again, so for in close fighting, it doesn't get jammed as easily. It doesn't snag when she's pulling it out of her purse or her holster that she keeps concealed. Again, the hammer can pose a little bit of a trouble in a real fisticuff position, or when you're being attacked physically and the person's on you. It's not like 3 feet away or 5 feet or 10 feet, whatever the case may be. The person's right on you. The hammer is a little bit tough to deal with at times, and at that position you don't really need a double act or a single action shot. You can use the double action. Now, before we go playing with this is an empty weapon. So let's take a look at this. Now, this has the back strap here, okay, and it's just the gun itself, okay. Now, you're just holding on to the handles and the gun, all right, but the problem is if the person jams in close to you, the hand could slip off that, okay. Now, guaranteed you could pull a shot off, but if they catch you at the wrong time, that gun could come out of the hand. Or if you have a stronger load in your firearm than you're used to shooting at the range, if it kicks back, it could slip out just a little bit. So this kind of a hand grip doesn't give you an awful lot of traction. It doesn't give you an awful lot of protection in this area. Again, this is only a 38 special caliber, and it has the plus P ability to hold. So that's a good strong round, but not really strong enough that this would matter at the shooting range, only in a close combative situation. I'm in the process of ordering another pair of laser grips. These are Crimson Trace laser grips here. I'm getting her another set because I'm working in close with her and working in close with the fighting revolvers. We need to have a little bit more security. We're noticing a lot of slippage here in some of these situations in hand-to-hand fighting ability. So my firearm, my everyday carry that I love, is the Smith & Wesson 640 Pro. Now I put the laser grips on it again. It had smaller grips that it came with from the factory, but again it had the bare back strap there. So this set of grips here, if you'll notice, it comes out maybe 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more, but it's padded up and through here. So when the person comes in belly to belly, it's going to have a harder time slipping out of that grip because the traction of the rubberization here, also the extra thickness that pushes it into your hand a little bit. It also enables you to shoot the heavier loads like a .357 Magnum out of this particular firearm. So you can absorb it, it doesn't hurt as much, it won't recoil out of your hand because it actually has an awful lot longer grip as well. So that's essential for getting my fingers all on there without having to get the 2-finger grip, because the nub is smaller. If we take a look back at the smaller one, okay, this is so small that getting my little finger on it is not possible. It hangs off the edge, which is not bad for me. You just cup it underneath and you have a very good grip, a very solid grip in there. So that's not a real difficulty. But if it's coming to be pulled or pushed against your hand, that small finger just slides right off, and it actually pulls that ring finger off, so you're maintaining a 1-finger, 2-finger grip, a thumb and middle finger grip, if that's the case, if someone just bumps into you and jerks that gun. All right, so you got to make sure you understand that these smaller grips, yeah, they're great for carrying. They're very easy for carrying compared to the longer grips. All right, now if we stack these up just a little bit, let me see if I can stack them for you so you can see. You can see there's a substantial little lip down there. Now that is the width of 1 finger, my small finger. All right, so all my fingers go on that grip. They're very secure. Okay, it's going to have a tougher time pulling through. The fingers won't slide off as readily if the person pushes up. And again, that little extra padding back here, this helps it from being pushed up and out of my hand and out of my grip. Again, with a hammer, you would run into a little difficulty here as well, maybe lacerating or severing your skin as that dug in, if the force was great enough coming toward you, or a little bit of slippage or not able to fire. Again, if it pulls up, you might not, especially on a revolver. Again, this one is empty as well. Okay, when you pull that trigger, that is a very long pull. So if you're in this position and the weapon is pulled up, you can't even fire the shot. Okay, it's so long a pull, and it's a little bit heavier. This is about an 8-pound pull. I've done a trigger modification on this, so it's not the 15 pounds that they typically come with. I did that for my wife's as well, but it's still a very long travel to pull that trigger. So you're going to slip out long before you pull the trigger. Okay, and you haven't had it staged. With the single action from the trigger, you have to stage this by yourself before you go into that single action ability. But again, this is a much more secure grip for you in close combatives. Okay. Now let's take a look at another firearm that I've done another video on, and I'll put all these links of the prior videos on these handguns. Okay, again, this is empty. This is the Chiappa Rhino 200 DS, 2-inch, it's .357 Magnum. Now it looks like this one has a hammer, but it isn't. This is a cocking mechanism. If you pull the trigger, you see that does not move. Okay, that's you can stage it for single action, or you can just leave it and go double action and it doesn't move. So if you get jammed into this position, it's still going to fire. Okay, so that is a great idea from Chiappa. This is just a brilliant gun. I've mentioned it before in the prior videos. But what I really want you to take a look at is the shape of this grip. You see this huge ledge right up underneath. Now, my hand just tucks right up underneath that. So, first of all, on the recoil, okay, if you have a good .357 Magnum, a full load Magnum, okay, you're not going to feel that recoil. Now in this gun you really don't, because it's got the chambers is chambered on the bottom for the barrel. You can see it's not at the top on a normal gun, or as the Smith & Wesson J-frame is, it's lower. So what that means is the force comes straight back into your hand and straight into your arm, so there's no recoil on this per se. It's more of a slight push. And it doesn't even have that much of a push because of the ergonomics of this handle. Now I discussed that before in the prior filming on this revolver. So I want you to go take a look at that too, because there's a lot more in the description in those links below as well. But this huge lip right in through here, okay, fits right into your hand. So not only would you not feel a lifting because you have the security of your hand, especially when you've gripped it tight, this muscle group right in through here really tightens and forms a brace against that. All right, but it if it does even get pushed up because of your in close fighting and it's pushed, it's not getting loose out of your hand. And you'll see that this smaller lip here, it's easy to conceal because of this bevel here, but at the same time it has a full 3-finger purchase on that grip. So again, you're not going to lose your small finger. The grip is going to be very positive. Now this is the standard set of rubber grips that comes with the Chiappa Rhino, and I love them. I think they look fine, again, but looks are not the most important thing to me in a self-defense firearm. It's how it works, and this rubber grip gives you a good positive feel. It doesn't slip, doesn't snag, it's smooth enough to not snag on your clothing when you're drawing from concealment. So again, you have the 3 fingers on that grip, so it has security, so it won't be lifted if it recoiled, or again, a body-to-body action, okay? And at the same time, your finger is in there pulling against where it's pulling to in a natural trigger pull position. It's pulling straight back into the web of your hand here, so even if this weapon comes up, it gets stopped right there, and I'm putting some good pressure on this, okay? You still have the ability to pull that trigger and fire. So this grip is ingenious, just as is this cocking lever. Okay, again, it's not a trigger, or it's not a hammer. Okay, the hammer is internal, so you don't have to worry about that. So again, this is a very brilliant design from Chiappa. I wish more firearms would work with these ergonomics. Things that people don't typically think about, like the in-close fighting and the lift on it and the jamming, or the trigger being jammed into your hand. But now that you've taken a look, you can start looking at it. You can start going over your handguns, especially your fighting revolvers, and seeing what I'm talking about by handling them. And if you want to work with another person on being rushed, tackled, jumped by two guys in a parking lot, different scenarios. This is the way we work to find out if we can actually fire the weapon, and how good fighting skills we have in a real situation, or as near a real situation as we can get with high stress, fast motion, and body-to-body contact. So that's another installment on the fighting revolver. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some worth out of it, and start looking at your handguns and your fighting revolvers, and taking a look at the possibilities that could happen. Thanks for tuning in.